So Joey, the one the fans been waiting for. You signed a little while ago, but our first chance to catch up with you. I'll ask the cliche question. Back again in Cardiff for sixth season. How does it feel?
It feels great. Cardiff feels like home to me right now, and I've loved my time here. So coming back here was a kind of a no-brainer for me.
I've got to ask, and Lordo, Todd will kill me. Maybe you won't answer, but you are such a talented player, and I know you get embarrassed when I say this. You're being called the GOAT. You've won all the trophies across the elite league. You're totally respected. You must have offers. You must have people talking to you about going elsewhere, particularly in mainland Europe. So is it hard to say no, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some interest in other leagues, but at the same time, I've just really enjoyed my time here in Cardiff. The organization means a lot to me. Everybody in the organization kind of feels like a family, and that's very comfortable. My quality of life here is great. I love the city. I love the people I've met. I love playing for Lordo. Our management is great, and then our owners are great guys. So like from top to bottom, it's just such a good organization to be part of, and I'm just very happy here at the moment. So pursuing other options right now, wasn't of interest to me. So I'm very happy at the moment.
Well, all Devils fans are happy. I'm aware, Joey, we've done this a few times, so I want to ask you some different questions. And one that I was thinking about, it actually happened when the Devils sort of mid-autumn last year went through a little bit of a slump. There was a lot of talk amongst fans about line combinations, what have you. Great players at the Devils, of course, Pope, Hedden, Bentavolio, different guys you went out with.
Mm-hmm.
Without naming people, what makes a good line combination for you? What complements your game? Who do you look for in your wingers, or what do you look for in your wingers?
I mean, if you look at our roster, there's not too many guys that wouldn't want to play with. We have a lot of great players in here. I'm not sure. Sometimes you have chemistry with players and it works for a while, then sometimes it just happens to go flat. That's just the way it goes sometimes. I like to think of myself as more of a pass first player, so I like to play with a guy who can shoot the puck, and then maybe you get a big body on your line that can kind of protect the puck and provide you with some space to make some plays. I think that usually works too. But I mean, I don't think you have to overthink it too much. I think once you play with certain players for a few games or even practices, you learn their tendencies, and that's kind of how chemistry is formed.
The Devils have been blessed over the years, and particularly last year's with centres with good face-off percentages. Myers, Ulmer, Dixon last year, and yourself. Now we're seeing a lot in the Stanley Cup at the moment. Possession is key. You must realise that's a critical part of your role. Do you take pride in being a good face-off guy?
Right. Yeah, I definitely do. Winning face-offs has always been something I've really taken pride in, and something that's, like you said, it's very important for possession. And it was kind of I had to adapt when I came over here, because in North America you can use your feet. Then coming over here, you're not allowed to turn and use your feet. So that was a little difficult at first for me, but I kind of adapted, and yeah, like you said, we have a lot of great centermen on our team. Matthew Myers is really good. Dixon, I remember when I played against Myers, I really was frustrated with him because he's so strong on his stick and he comes through and sometimes he gets you on the hands. But it's a battle and it's so important. But yeah, that's something I think we all take pride in.
Take me back to last season in the sense of the league title race, and kudos to the Belfast Giants, a superb organisation. In terms of league title disappointments, you had a couple your first year, but you were the chasing team. How difficult was it to take, or what was it like, the mentality in the room the last sort of month of the season when you were being chased down?
Yeah, I mean, it was every game was like a playoff game, that last month. And then the way we kind of ended it, was extremely disappointing, to say the least. Losing that last game in Coventry was a pretty sickening feeling in the locker room after, kind of just surreal feeling, to be honest. Never want to feel like that again. But I think moving forward, that just has to motivate you. I think coming into next season, it's just kind of something you have to think about in the off season and let it drive you, because I want that league title back. That's the big one, and that hurt not to get that. Obviously, winning the playoffs was some satisfaction, especially meeting Belfast in the finals, definitely. But at the end of the day, we want to win as many trophies as we can, that's the goal.
Well, interesting. So I was going to ask, Josh Batch said it in his interview. Obviously, there was hunger there last year, hunger to get the three-peat and what have you. But is it a different kind of hunger this year? The fact that you lost it to a great organisation, is it almost added motivation?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I don't want to say we took it for granted. It's a very tough thing to do. It's a long season. Every weekend is like a playoff game. So, you know, um, I thought we still had a very successful year. I think our winning percentage this year was higher than last year when we won it. So, like you said, you got to give Belfast credit. They were great all year long. They have a great team. But in terms of motivation, definitely that's the trophy we want to get back.
We've obviously seen the CHL draw and fixtures are out now, and it's something that all Devils fans look forward to. You've had great success in the CHL. What I wanted to ask you is, obviously there's a huge amount of respect for the teams you're going to play, but this being your third campaign, has the fear factor gone a little bit, or was there ever any fear factor?
That's a good question. I think the first year was kind of, I wouldn't say fear, but we had to kind of adapt and kind of play out to see how we were going to get used to playing these faster, more skilled teams for sure. I think last year we went to the campaign, we were definitely more comfortable, a little more prepared. I think we kind of all went into with the mentality that we have something to prove. We play in a very good league, and I don't think it gets as much respect as it should. And I think when we play these teams, we want to show them that and prove that. So, I definitely think going into our third CHL, I think we're going to be very comfortable. I think we're going to want to try to make some noise. We're not just going in to see how we do. We want to go in there and we want to win, and that's what we're going to try to do.
What are the essential differences? I guess you're playing against good puck possession teams, but things like, do the referees call a lot more? Is clutch and grab completely frowned upon? What are the key differences in that CHL campaign?
Yeah, I think we found the refereeing's a little different. I think in our league they tend to let some things go, a little bit clutching, holding. So that's something we've kind of always had to take a couple games to adapt to. If we can kind of figure that out right away, I think that would be very beneficial for us. It's just adapting to the speed and the quickness of the plays. But you know what, Lordo prepares us very well. He's emphasizing speed, in our training right before these games. So, we should be prepared in that aspect, but I think, like I said, our third year now, I think we should know what to expect.
You mentioned about proving the standard and continued improved performance of the Elite League. You've been home a little bit this summer. Did jeebies' performance get any traction, particularly some of your teammates in this locker room?
Yeah, it definitely got a lot of attention. It was pretty funny because the World Championships is covered quite a bit in Canada. So when I was back home, I was waking up and having a coffee, and I saw Ben Bounds highlights on repeat for hours, and it was pretty neat to see, yeah. And the exposure that they got was incredible, and all my friends and family, they were talking about it, and yeah, it was great to see them have success and stay up.
So over the course of now the sixth season you've been in Cardiff, when you go home or talk to guys back home, can you see the credibility of this league rising?
I definitely can, yeah. Where I'm from, there's a lot of pro hockey players, and seems every summer I go home and we kind of talk about our leagues and our years. More and more guys keep asking about our league, and they've kind of noticed that there's some pretty good players coming here with some great resumes, and I think they're kind of figuring out that there may be some more money in other leagues, but if you get to a right team, it's a very good quality of life, and you get treated very well, and it's kind of like that family feel, and I think that's very appealing to a lot of players, and that's starting to get recognized.
And just finally, Joe, I know the hard work will start soon in terms of preparing for training camp. But you have enjoyed a little bit of downtime, and Toronto's going crazy at the moment, isn't it? For not for a hockey team, but for a basketball team.
Right. Yeah, the Toronto Raptors. They're in the finals of the NBA right now, and I was fortunate enough to go to the Game 6 where they they won and to advance to the finals. So it was pretty special, and hopefully the Leafs can follow that up next year.
Hopefully so. Hopefully the Devils will follow that up as well. I'm sure with you back in the lineup they will. Joe, always great to see you back in Cardiff.
Thanks, John.